Oh, right. All right. Ain't no security at the door, huh? They let you in. Um, no, no, player. How's everybody doing? A lot of great speeches tonight, right? I really appreciated everybody showing up with their brilliance. And I have the opportunity to end it off, so I hope I don't put it down or too much. This is a picture when I was a child. And when some people look at this picture, some have said that it looks like I'm angry. And that's hard for me to hear, right? It's hard for me to hear because when I look at his face, when I look at my face, I see how sad I was, right? I think about the trauma that I didn't know how to heal. I think about the violence that I was exposed to. I think about the feeling of hopelessness that used to sit on my chest and make it hard for me to breathe. Looking at this picture, this face is the face of somebody who believed that nobody cared about him, right? I really believe that nobody loved me at this time, and it had a way, and it does something to your spirit. It has an impact on how you view yourself, and it has an impact on how you view the world and how you show up in the world, right? And so when a child is poured with care and love, right? When that happens and they are receiving messaging of that they're valued and that they matter, that's a special and a powerful thing. Very special and very powerful. It allows for the child to just show up with their brilliance, to build trust, and to be able to freely make mistakes, to learn and to grow. That wasn't my experience as a child, sorry to say. The messaging that I received was that I was a problem to be fixed, a problem to be solved, that the trauma and the pain that I felt on the inside was somehow my problem, because even though I was never given the tools to help manage it, and even though that I was surrounded by folks who not a one would admit to the fact that having feelings and emotions was a weakness, right? The fact that the adults in my life didn't have the tools as well. There was still this expectation that I show up perfectly. There was still this expectation that I show up better. And so the messaging to me was, it got to be me, right? It can't be them. And so I'm here to say like this. I don't believe in good kids and bad kid dynamics. I think it's harmful. I think it's impactful. I think it's false. I think it helps hold the system in place, right? There's a lot of things that I think that are wrong with these falsified dynamics. You know what I mean? I went through my life of being pictured and being framed as a bad kid. You know what I mean? I was told from every adult in my life, from counselors, from teachers. Some of them didn't have to say it out loud. Some of the times it just came through in their actions and not wanting to call you or not wanting in how they treated you in the classroom. You can feel it. I have this idea of that folks who come through a lot of trauma, your sensitivity is on 10, right? So I can read it. You don't have to say it. You don't have to say you don't value me. You don't have to say you think that you're scared of me, you know what I mean? Or whatever your biases might bubble up in you. You don't have to do that. I can read it up off of you, right? And so I'm navigating through the world, reading the world that is reflecting back to me that it doesn't want me, that it doesn't value me. And that was my experience. You know what I'm saying? And so I think it's important to highlight, because at the end of the day, I think that as difficult as it is, hold on a second, sorry. Let me say this. Some people ask me, what could I told him, right? What could I told him to make a difference? And the truth is that what we really need to talk about are the systems that created the circumstances that put him in a position where he needed that type of support, right? I think if we're really being honest, we would talk about the systems. The systems have a way of making the problems individual. And as long as we believe that the problem is the individual and we could fix it through the individual, then we'll never fix the problem, because we have a system that keeps producing harm, and we have a system that keeps producing oppression and disparities. And so at the end of the day, I want to note that. But to answer the question, there's nothing I could have told him, because there's nothing he didn't hear, right? This man had, this child had abandonment issues because folks flew in, and they might care for a minute. They might talk about their care. They might come with something motivational. They might do all these different things, but at the end of the day, they would helicopter right back out. And so I just want to highlight that there's nothing I could have told him. What he needed was somebody to show him something. What he needed was somebody to be there. What he needed was somebody to fill in the gap. And that's what he needed. He needed community. He needed community support. He needed community to wrap their hands around him. He needed community organizations like the Black Rose Collective, right? And I'm talking about organizations that are from the community that they serve, that have the same lived experience of the people that they pour into. So they have this deep understanding of what you're going through. And at the end of the day, they can stay connected to your humanity through whatever the process is to get you back to sustainability. That's what he needed, right? That's what he really needed. But what he didn't need, he didn't need a correctional facility to correct his behavior. He didn't need that. What he didn't need more punitive strategies to make him adjust. He really didn't need to be rehabilitated. He didn't need that either. And what he also didn't need, he didn't need a second chance, because he didn't have a first chance. What he needed is what we all need. What he needed was love. That's what he needed. He needed love. If he would have had that, he would have been good. You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, him having love, him getting love, gave him the space to start his healing journey. Him giving love gave him the opportunity to grow into me, right? The reason that I'm here is because love was poured into my life. Not because I'm brilliant, not because of any miraculous anything. It came because love came interjected. It's because empathy came in place. It's because it gave me permission to heal, and it allowed me to show up in the world that didn't show me that. So at the end of the day, I just want to say that these good, bad child dynamics are a part of the problem. I'm going to say if we got to dismantle these dynamics, we got to dismantle these systems that create these dynamics, that keep us all harmed, that keep us all traumatized. And I want to end with this. I want to say that when we're compelled to make an assessment about if somebody is a good kid or a bad kid, when we're compelled to do that, I want to offer that when we making that assessment, instead of making it about them being a good kid or a bad kid, I want us to think about making the assessment on if they're supported or unsupported, if they're loved or if they're unloved, if they're traumatized or if they're healing. Because if you make the assessment and you see that they're unsupported, then I want you to take an initiative and give them the support that they need. If you make that assessment and you see that they're unloved, then what I want you to do is when you leave them, I want them to feel loved. And I want you to do that, right? And at the end of the day, if they're traumatized, what I need for you to do is to give them grace, give them space, and give them the support that they need to dismantle the barriers that are necessary so that that are preventing them from getting on their healing journey. So at the end of the day, we can live in a better world. We can have future generations that thrive. That is a possibility, but what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to collectively invest in what I believe is our most precious resource, and that's our children. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.